Hi guys, and welcome to this episode of the Just My Opinion podcast. On the Just My Opinion podcast, we talk about everything entertainment and lots more. So if you're interested in stuff like that, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification button. As the title of the podcast goes, Just My Opinion. So it's my opinion, it's the ambassador's opinion. So feel free to drop your opinion in the comment section below. We will always love hearing from you. So let's get to it. Hi, ambassador.
Hello, people. It's your boy Ambassador again doing his thing.
Today we are going to be looking at this article from the Hot Gem, which talks about Alpha Beta Records versus Big Dream, the competition we might never see again. Okay? Well, okay, let's see what they have to say. Some of the most powerful Cameroonian record labels that have existed over time and have produced some of the biggest musicians so far are Big Dreams Entertainment, which had Locko, Kosi, and Alpha Beta Records, which harbored Mr. Leo, Salatel Asker, and Bless B. Javes Nkungang and Salatel, who are CEOs of these labels, have impacted the Cameroonian music industry beyond words. The reality is that these two set the Cameroonian music industry ablaze and the bar so high. They came into the mainstream industry practically as underdogs, but have forever changed the narrative for good, not only for themselves alone, but for their respective artists. Javes Kungangs, I feel like I'm butchering his name. Big Dream Entertainment and Salatiel's Alpha Beta Records, which signed Locko and Mr. Leo, respectively, gave Cameroonians the best competition in the music business that might never be seen again. Just how time flies. In Cameroon, most competitions have always been about bitter rivalries, which always end up straining relationships for the worst. However, these two labels put work as their benchmark. The competition between Mr. Leo and Locko was fierce. It was nothing short of versus. From 2014, here is how both artists went head to head, even if most music fans didn't pay attention. 2014, Mr. Leo Igobeta versus Locko Mago. 2015, Mr. Leo On Va Gérer versus Locko Sour Romance, which was actually released in 2016. 2016, Mr. Leo Kemayo versus Locko Ndudu. This fierce but positive competition opened way for one of the most powerful collaborations in the industry when both artists and record labels joined forces to release Supote. While we could all agree that the aforementioned songs were not only hits but classics, these artists have gone on to become the biggest of their generation, even if they are no longer part of these respective labels. The relationship between Mr. Leo and Locko only strengthened as both artists are sitting in a different category in the contemporary music industry. It was fascinating to watch Salatiel and Javes sit down to analyze their time at the top of the Cameroonian music industry. Are we ever going to see this type of scenario where competition turned into powerful collaboration in this industry? So before we go on to analyze this article, Ambassador, do you think we're ever going to see this kind of competition again down the line?
Yes, we will, but on another level. I always just look at America because that was a playbook we got to study close up. So one time there was Death Row and there was Bad Boy. Bad Boy was Diddy, Death Row, Suge Knight, which had Pac and the rest. Bad Boy had Biggie, J Blash. Yeah, so there was that competition then. That was like in the 90s. And then early 2000s, we had G Unit and Mosaic. So you come back at different levels. So the money which the G-Unit guys were now making, the merchandise game had become a little bit bigger compared to when it was just record sales when Pac and Biggie were going at it and beef songs. Now when it was Ja Rule and 50 Cent, there was the whole 360 thing had come where there was actually ticket sales, lots of merchandise being put out for G Unit and Mother INC. So all of those things. So we'll see some of these kind of rivals again in another phase of the evolution of the industry, not the same. They have already done what they have done. The industry has evolved. I feel like some of those foundation pillars which we build upon and then we move to the next stage. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to stay on the optimistic side. I definitely think we're hopefully we'll see this kind of rivalry again. I was reading the article and I was just smiling because when I was reading every song, I remember how I felt when I first listened to the song and how much
Yeah,
I loved the song. So as I was also reading and
yeah.
going down memory lane, it was just like it was a
But
nice feeling.
Ego Better is still my best on that list.
Ego Beta still remains at the top, yeah. And you know, Ego Beta was one of the songs that actually made me start looking at the Cameroonian music scene. That was one of the first songs that made me turn my eye into,
Okay.
okay,
I was
they are
only
producing
listening
something
to
here.
rap, but all the other kind of Cameroonian music, I don't know if I should call it R&B or it's I don't know what that yeah, the genre is exactly. But I was just listening to Cameroonian rap. But Ego Beta is what made me to think that okay, Cameroonians have lots of other things, the whole Afro things going now, and yeah,
Yeah,
time has proven us right. Like it was not even the rap. The rap just opened the door, but now it's all the other Afro things going on.
so Jovi Done for Quat was actually before Ego Beta, right?
Yes.
Okay, means that Jovi Done for Quat was actually one of the first songs. But yeah, Ego Beta, yeah, still in the early list. Yeah, the top of the list. Yeah, but what do you think about the whole article in general?
No, I think it's a very good piece. I mean, like it actually it traced the progression 2014, 2015, 2016. I mean, like at this time I was actually in the industry, so I was doing my own things here and there. I am familiar with, let's say, Salati on a one-on-one level. Gervais, I think I've spoken with some of his people, Big Dreams people. I've spoken with them on the phone. I don't think I've actually got to meet them like that, but I could see their works. I mean, like some of the guys, like Kosi, I think he left Boya and then went out there to work with them. So I could, yeah, I was quite close to the situation where I could appreciate what they were doing at the time with the little means they had. But still, I always say it's the lack of business minds that maybe thwarted some of these projects. So the lack or absence of business minds, the certain part you grow and you get stuck and you're like, if you cannot grow anymore, then you guys just break up and let's say scatter or whatever. But if they had business minds that could take it to the next level, Africa level, global level, that's what Nigerians do. I always use the example of Mavens. The business guys behind Mavens are huge. I interact with them on LinkedIn. These guys are business guys, 100%. In Cameroon, for some reason, our entertainers don't valorize or don't link up with the business minds. And even when the business minds come, they are disrespected, and hence, yeah, they don't stay on that thing. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because as he was reading and going on, and he talked about like the collaboration between Locko and Mr. Liu. I remember that was huge. Chipotle was really huge, and it was a good song. And these are really talented people. And right now, yeah, that's they are no longer at the top of their game, and I feel like there has been some declining, and
Yeah, in the industry.
we could credit that to a lot of different factors. For Loco's case, I feel like maybe him signing to Universal was not the right move. I don't also like the fact that Mr. Leo, I mean, I don't want to say he left Alpha Beta too soon, but I feel like if he would have still stuck with Salatiel, he
Would have
might
had more hits.
he would
There's
have
lots of growing
he would
still to
have
be done in that
had more
department.
hits. Because I also think an additional problem, which we have also spoken about on this channel, the business minds not being in the scene, in the rooms when they have their conversations in the entertainment field. I feel that's one factor. I also feel another factor is this not being able to stay in teams for a long time, because I feel like
Yeah,
growth takes time, and when you cut growth short, then you have to start back on scratch. I don't feel like that's the right way to go. So
yeah,
yeah, so I really hope that if this type of competition happens down the line, if we have this really talented people, I don't know why I'm using the word if, because I feel like we already have those talented people. We already have banging songs like this. I just feel like the ambassador said, the thing that's lacking is putting these business minds in the room to see how we could really take our Cameroonian music scene to the next level. Yeah. Okay, let's proceed to talk about our sponsors, Echo.online.
So as usual, Echo Online is here to put money in your pocket. It's here to democratize the playing field. Independent African artists could move like they are signed under a label. Because most of the service which the label provides for the artist, you could provide it for yourself using Echo Online. Simple. Create a profile, share a link to your profile, get your followers to follow you. on Echo.online. Hence, when you start selling tickets or streaming your music or selling merchandise, they will be able to buy. I mean, unlike the other social media platforms where they could like, comment, and it's difficult for you to translate into money. Echo.online is properly adapted for that purpose. I mean, it's adapted to the local payment methods like mobile money and the rest. You could sell directly there. Your fan base in Africa could support you by buying your merchandise, your music, whatever, and you could easily pull out your money from Echo.online and invest in your career so you grow organically. So share your success story with us after a good experience on Echo.online.
Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of the Just My Opinion podcast. Feel free to subscribe, hit the notification button, let us know in the comments below what you think, and see you guys next time. Bye.